welcome back to Trash Talkin.
I'm Reg.
I'm me. We're coming after a little Christmas break and a fun Saturday for you.
Well, we're in 2025. Believe it or not, the Raptors, Wizards, and Pistons are all undefeated.
We played very
January
well.
2nd, and all
played
three
very
teams
well.
are undefeated in 2025.
We only played the Nets, so I mean, I hope. God, I
Undefeated.
hope,
Undefeated. There's hope.
But yeah, so it was a weird week because we all were very excited for the holiday games, and both games were really bad. The Steelers
3 games in 11 days, that's what you get. That's what the NFL gets.
I mean, Ravens-Texans, we should have disqualified that. It should have been like college football right there, where we looked at the Texans, how they played the Ravens, and said, okay, we'll put someone else in.
Well, I hope the NFL learns a lesson and doesn't punish teams
Yeah.
play three games in 11 days.
I think that is what we learned. this
NBA
year.
players don't want to play 3 games in 11 days, and they make football players.
Yeah,
So-
I think we learned this year that maybe we don't push a game on Christmas if you don't have to. Like next week, Christmas will be on Thursday. So you can kind of next
You
week.
can, but yeah.
But Wednesday, Tuesday.
Well, somebody said there was a game Thursday night, but it was only Seattle and Chicago.
that
wasn't a game.
I was pretty okay that I missed that.
That wasn't a game.
When I got out and I saw it was 3-3 at like the end of the third, I was like,
That wasn't a game.
that sucks. That for someone who loves Caleb, that was a really tough game to watch.
And I gotta say something about the NFL. I know that not everybody has stuff to do on Christmas, but it makes it really hard if your team's playing and now you got to stop your Christmas stuff so you can watch the Steelers play or the Cowboys play. Bad enough we do it at Thanksgiving.
They're just doing it to get at the NBA. That's all they're doing. It used to
Yeah,
be the
Christmas
NBA's day.
Well, the NBA had really good ratings
Yeah.
on this year. They were up 86%, and the NFL didn't really do that well. They're always going to do well, but not as well as the NBA did.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, it's because LeBron was on Christmas
That's
Day.
exactly.
My man was on Christmas Day, and he was showing what he does still. Happy 40th birthday, LeBron, by the way.
Yeah.
That's what we got to say. I don't know.
40
And
years.
Tiger Woods.
And Tiger Woods. They're both in the same day. That's a pretty
Same
good.
day.
That's a pretty good
Wow,
day
I
for
didn't know that.
athletes.
Pretty big athletes.
Yeah, those are some kind of big
I didn't
athletes.
realize that.
So we're gonna talk MVP now that we're at the end of the year. It feels like it. Oh yeah, recap. We gotta do the recap. So Broncos Saturday night.
Sean
How's
Payton
it going?
killed me.
That was a good game for like us, everyone besides Bronco fans watching.
It is, and again, my blood pressure, I didn't take it Sunday morning, but he had all the opportunity to go for 2. I don't normally like going for 2. There was nothing to lose there. You win the game, you win the game. They already knew Kansas City wrapped up home field, so Kansas City was going to rest guys this week for us. If you win that game,
Yeah, might as well.
you're in the playoffs. If you miss it, you still have the same scenario that you had no matter what.
Yeah.
You don't give Joe Burrow the ball back. They hadn't punted the whole game. An offensive guy that usually goes above and beyond, he turtled on that,
Yeah.
and that's just not a good look. Bo Nix wanted to go for 2 right away. You know, they reviewed the play. He had all kinds of time to get a
If you
play.
wanted to play, yeah.
You know, and you win the game, you win the game. You lose the game, you lose the game.
Yeah.
The result for next week would have been the same anyway. So,
Yeah.
you know, it was a great game, and it just proved how good Joe Burrow is.
Yeah. Oh my God.
You know, I mean, there was some
It's hard to watch.
there's some god awful games though. I mean, you
every
get
week
down
is
to the
fun.
last 2 weeks. If you're stupid enough to buy tickets
This
for
week.
some of these games,
That's what I
I mean,
was saying
it
about
is
it.
pathetic.
This week we got lucky though
New
because
Orleans and the
we have
Raiders,
the
so-
biggest game. They're talking the biggest regular season game in NFL history. The Lions Vikings.
Yeah, that's huge.
2 14-win teams.
Two teams with those records is
I bet you
unbelievable.
there's
In the
never
same
been-
division.
Never been anything like
Could have
this.
never been.
In the same
At the
division.
end of the year.
It's for the division for the NFC. Loser drops to the 5th seed.
Loser,
That's
you're
huge.
never gonna see a home game, and
That's
they're both
huge.
home teams. So
That's
it's
really
the biggest
big.
game of the year. You know,
I'm excited.
either team. I mean, 2 great teams.
Is it in Detroit?
Yeah,
Yeah.
2 great teams.
That'll be fun.
It's going to be sad for the other, but that they got to go on the road and play because I'm quite sure Detroit's not used to playing on the road. They've only had 3 true road games. This
I mean,
year.
for all everyone tells me about Jared Goff, I want to see him on the road now. Everyone's kind of made him to be like this superhero for some reason when he just does what he's told. And I want to see what he can do now in the playoffs on the
I
road.
think it hurts Detroit more than
Way
Minnesota
more.
because Minnesota has a really good defense.
Yeah.
And
Detroit
I think they could play outdoors.
Yeah.
I think Detroit's offense is more geared to a fast track.
Well, yeah.
And I think the Vikings are more equipped to playing outdoors, but it should be a great game. Right?
I'm very excited. It's a good game when, you still have something to look forward to. Like, I haven't had anything to look forward to for weeks.
Well, it's
So
the
it's
first
nice.
time for
It's
you.
the first time in a bit. So
First
it's nice.
time for you.
It's really nice to have a game to look forward to, even though your team stinks.
All I want, you know what? I know that if we get in, I don't expect them to win a game. They'll be playing at
Player.
Buffalo. I don't expect them to win. Put a
Never
good
know.
game.
Buffalo
But
in the playoffs.
just to make the playoffs
Yeah, it's big.
with a rookie quarterback, what's happened the last few years with Russell Wilson, just to make the playoffs is a hell of a.
It's a nice flip-flop.
Then Sean Payton should be considered for
Coach, yeah, he
coach
should
of the year. I
already.
mean, why not?
Should definitely already be considered.
You know,
He's brought this
Yeah, he
team,
took that team.
you know, with a rookie quarterback who was kind of his rookie quarterback. It was very Drew Brees. I would like Sean Payton.
from
as
what
head
they went
coach.
through, this is an unbelievable
Good
year.
rebound.
Yeah,
Really
it's
good
a
rebound.
great rebound. It just proves you can eat a contract.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
still-
That's
still
what you
good.
guys proved. That's why
Atlanta's going to do the same thing this year.
the Browns should be thinking
The
about it
Browns
this
should
year.
be doing it. And I read a lot where the Browns aren't going to eat.
They
the
restructured
contract.
his
They
contract.
his contract.
But
He
they
gets-
said they're going to bring in someone to compete with him. At least.
I know, but he took less money, but he get more massages, so he's
Yeah.
going to get in trouble.
Where do you think the money's
I don't
going?
Understand? How many massages do he need?
Is they have to understand that after it's not just like, oh, he's coming back slow, like he's awful.
And they're getting a high pick. They can get a good quarterback.
They're gonna get like the third pick. I would go.
I read something today, but Kirk Cousins to Cleveland. They said.
I read that too
I
today.
can't believe it. That would be
I-
funny.
that
That
would
would
be
honestly
hilarious.
be funny.
That would put Cousins and the two complete polar opposites.
That would be funny.
Kirk
Great
Cousins and
place to
Deshaun
end your
Watson.
career.
That would
They
be
really
funny.
do end it there. They end it.
Kirk and Deshaun would be. There should be like a TV following them the whole time. A TV crew.
That would be-
I want to see how those two very religious, you know, choir boy Kirk Cousins with convicted, you know, rapist Deshaun Watson.
it would be- it would be-
They're probably gonna hang. Honestly, just from watching TV shows, they probably end up being best friends by the end of
be
the
the
year.
outcome.
That would be so much
Yeah.
fun.
It would be the
That would be a lot of fun. Well,
Yeah.
we are wrapping up a year. We're gonna see a lot of backups this week. Carson Wentz, Trey Lance, maybe.
Really?
Why play him now?
I think McCarthy said he wants to play him this week, which would be nice to see something for me. I don't want to watch Cooper Rush in Week 18. But now speaking of Cooper Rush, let's do our MVP picks. Let's talk about our MVP.
I tell you, there's going to be sad people no matter what. Just look at the talent that there is
Yeah,
in quarter, and look at the AFC, and you wonder why it's so hard.
only
Buffalo, Kansas City, Baltimore, always going to be there.
Yeah.
Why? And now you put Herbert in there. He's not an MVP, but
Yeah,
how are teams going to move up in the AFC when those quarterbacks are young and putting up numbers like they do? Like
You gotta
it's
crush that
And
quarterback.
they're not even saying nothing about Mahomes, and he's 15-1, and he's not even
Yeah, he's not even
close to these guys.
an
But
MVP years.
again, I was telling you, Lamar Jackson, I would have to give it to him. He's got more yards, more touchdowns, and less picks than Josh Allen. Everybody thinks Josh Allen, old Buffalo. I don't care what your record is.
Every year.
It's the most valuable player in the season.
Yeah.
And to me, I'd give it to Joe Burrow personally. But I know people, you can't give it to you. Get 42 touchdowns and almost 5,000 yards
Only 8
in a
picks, too.
year
He's under
with 8
10.
picks.
Yeah.
You can't help on offense if your defense stinks, and you
Yeah.
can't help if you're a defensive player and your offense stinks.
Yeah.
So I don't want to hear that in any sport.
Yeah.
But you look at the numbers in awful, and you got a 2,000-yard rusher, and you got Derrick Henry 1,700 yards.
Gonna be
So
tough to
there's so
stop.
many good players and offensive weapons that
Yeah.
I would personally. I know the people in Buffalo, and they'll cry and they're begging.
Circling
for it.
the wagons. They can't even hear us.
Yeah, I honestly believe that Lamar Jackson should get again. I'm not a Lamar Jackson fan, but when you look at his stats,
Yeah, he has-
he's a winner to me.
Yeah.
That guy's more better than.
There's a lot of guys better than Allen. Well, I mean, it's New Year, and I was at the gym today and yesterday, and people do their New Year's resolutions. The gyms are packed. There's a lot of
Yeah,
people.
that's right,
The gyms are packed, but we got to start being honest, Bills fans, in 2025. I'm just done with. I'm done with delusion, and people think Cowboy fans are delusional, and half of that is that a lot of Cowboy fans are just stupid. I believe Bills fans, some of them, are really smart, but I believe they're a little delusional. And I'm looking at Josh Allen's stats, and I'm watching Josh Allen this year. And there have been a couple games where I've been like really impressed with Josh Allen, one of which he lost. So, but if anyone else lost a game where they played really well, like Dak, we would have crushed him. But he played really good against the Rams and lost. But I don't think Josh is even in my top 3 anymore. I don't. I think Lamar's ahead of him. I think Burrow's ahead of him. And Nick Wright made he made a really strong case for Darnold and Baker. And I think
Another
Baker
two-
has
two
put
great-
his team on his back. I didn't know how good
Look
Baker
at
has
their
been.
stats.
When he's not playing well, they're not playing well.
Yeah,
That's the thing.
Well, he's
and
better with Evans, but still.
Josh,
both those quarterbacks.
every year we do this. It's awesome in the regular season we say, well, Josh, well, look at what he does. He does. But Jalen Hurts gets those same rushing touchdowns.
I
And we
don't.
make
I
fun of
don't
him.
consider them
the
touchdowns.
thing.
When you get pushed into the end zone by your teammates, I don't want to hear, "Oh, he got a 1-yard rush."
We
No,
make
he
fun
didn't.
of Hurts
and
for
they
it.
got to get rid of that. They have a rule for that. No more pushing a guy forward for a touchdown.
Josh Allen is like that meme where it's like the good-looking guy who works at McDonald's and the guy who's not good-looking who works at McDonald's, and one guy's strong and independent and the one guy's a loser. And it's like Josh Allen's doing the same thing Jalen Hurts is. You just like Josh Allen. That's the difference. And I know Josh is really good.
No, yeah,
But those aren't considered touchdowns.
No,
there's a thing called forward progress. And with that, you're pushing him after he stopped, and they just keep pushing and pushing.
It's going to come to an offensive lineman
to
to break a leg.
Yeah,
Somebody's
I
going to
think so,
break a
that's
leg, and then they'll say, "Well, maybe we shouldn't do it." You know, it's fun when the Eagles started it. You know,
was it
come on.
fun as a
don't know.
Cowboys
That's
fan?
no,
Was it fun?
That's what they hate it, you know. But
It was sucked being like 3rd and 2 and being like, who cares?
it's going to be fun until somebody tears a knee
Someone's
or
gonna get
breaks
really
a
hurt.
leg. It's on the pile, and
Well,
somebody.
think of how many pounds
Man,
on top of the guy in the
I'm worried about Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts is only like 6'1".
Yeah.
Like he's gonna get crushed.
It's
at
going to
some
come
point.
to that anyway, but you know,
You guys are forgetting about Saquon and Derrick Henry. I know.
Yeah, running backs.
running backs.
And
And
overnight
that's
punches,
sad
but-
that a 2,000-yard rusher isn't
He's
even
not gonna.
considered.
Yeah. He
But
probably
that's-
should, but I mean, like he's just not going to. Burrow, if he wins, like I'm one of the people as a quarterback where I'm like, if you don't make the playoffs, I don't know if I can give you the most valuable player because you led. Obviously, he without Burrow, they're like 4 and like 13. I
They're
get
lucky.
that.
No, they scored 30 points in the last 4 games.
Yeah,
so,
that,
how many
so he's
quarterbacks-
amazing.
How many
He's
quarterbacks?
amazing. He's one of my favorite.
You have a
quarterbacks.
defense. There's 4 more wins. They got 12
Yeah.
wins right now.
Yeah, and I do think for the people who care about wins, Mahomes should be at like the bottom of your list for like the MVP, but should still be on your list because he's 15-1. He's gonna be 15-2, and people act like Mahomes just because he had like that slow start. Since then, his numbers have been the best in the league. I looked at him the other day. He's obviously built it up, but
I'm telling
I
you
don't
one thing
wanna-
right now. Kansas City, Buffalo, and Baltimore
it'll be
are
listen.
hoping Denver
Yeah,
getting the
no one wants
playoffs and not
Cincinnati.
Cincinnati.
No one
I'll
wants
tell you one
Cincinnati.
thing. Those
That's
teams do
true.
not want Cincinnati.
I wouldn't want to
in
see
the playoffs.
Chase and Burrow
No,
at all.
and Higgins.
And I don't care where.
Everything they have. It don't
Yeah.
matter.
They hooked up constantly.
And I don't care that they're on the road either. I don't
They
think that
play
really
in cold
bothers
weather
them.
anyway. They
I don't think
don't
that
care.
bothers them.
It's not like they have a defense. They'll just go out and outscore you.
Yeah, I don't think. But yeah, and I think
Kansas City would rather
that's the
them
thing.
lose on purpose.
I think the only team. I don't think Kansas City's afraid of anyone. The only team they're weary of.
Cincinnati's
It's
in their
Cincinnati.
head.
It's
Cincinnati's
very
in their
weird.
head. And that makes me happy because I think they'll lay down a little harder for Denver.
Maybe, yeah, maybe they'll
Just figuring,
yeah.
hey, we don't want a chance.
Have we moved into the next segment?
Not really.
Okay. I didn't know if I
Not
could
really.
switch my
No, we're still. But yeah, no. Lamar's my pick because last year I was very upset that Lamar won because Dak had better stats across all categories, even like total yards, total touchdowns with Lamar's rushing. So I got to stay a little consistent here. Josh Allen's had a great year, but it's almost been like a forced great year. Like he's owned 6 picks, but it's almost like he's refused to make these big plays because he doesn't want to throw
They
the
beat the
interceptions
Jets
anymore.
twice and New England
Yeah.
twice, so there's 4 wins.
Oh,
They
they
beat
almost lost
Miami
to
without Tua.
Yeah.
So there's 5 wins.
And I mean, Josh against the Patriots last time. If Lamar did that, like we would have booted him to the moon. Like
Yeah.
no one really, he had 100 and like what 70 yards.
Yeah.
He was 16 for 32. Lamar, I mean, Josh this year had maybe the worst single game performance from a quarterback of all time against the Texans. And no one he's got the best PR team of all time. No one ever talks about when he plays horrible.
Exactly.
And I don't care about this as much, but if you care about head to head. When Lamar and Josh played each other, Lamar destroyed him. Like
Actually,
it wasn't
Dan
even
Wright
close.
had all 4 of them
Yeah.
playing each other, and he's got the worst record. He's 2-2.
I don't get
against
it.
All these other things. The other guys had way better records.
I get he's tall and he's cool and he's good looking and he throws the ball far. I get it.
The,
No,
the fans
He's
of
amazing,
Buffalo,
but he's not an MVP.
But
the fans of Buffalo are so desperate for a championship or some kind of award.
But they could get the championship.
No, but
don't
this
worry about
is
the
what they
MVP.
want. I'm
See,
just
this
saying,
means
this is
nothing
what they
to-
want.
MVPs don't always
Listen,
win the Super Bowl.
at the end of the
Exactly.
year, wouldn't you rather you having a parade rather
They're
than
not
having
going
an
to They're
MVP?
not going to have a parade. So this
But
is their
but
parade.
they
This
probably
is their-
really think they can.
Oh, they all
They got a
do.
shot.
They have a shot.
But I don't like the defense that much. I don't think the defense.
Yeah, I know, but they got.
And by the way, anytime Josh Allen goes up against Mahomes, I'm picking Mahomes.
Yeah.
And Mahomes could be 55 years old and on one leg, and I would pick Mahomes because that's just what he does. But yeah, so we both have Lamar.
Yeah.
I have Burrow at 2. I assume you have him at 2.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Your second.
Listen,
And then if Saquon,
From what
if
he's
running
done-
backs ever got it.
it's a sad league that you'll never ever see another position
No.
get. It's just like the money.
Yeah, yeah,
They're gonna get the money and they're gonna get the awards.
yeah.
You
I
know?
would have Saquon at
I mean,
1, honestly.
We're going to see running backs with 2,000 yards, receivers with 2,000 yards, receivers with 150 catches eventually.
Yeah.
When does it
I'm
end?
sorry,
Right?
but if you get 2,000 yards,
Should be
it
considered.
should be
Should be
almost
in
a
the
law.
consider. But well,
And I don't know if he's sitting this
he
weekend.
is resting.
He
Is he?
resting.
Because they've been going back and forth. Lane
shouldn't.
Johnson said he wanted him to.
But he's
And then
not
Mayada
really
said he-
breaking the record. I'm sorry.
No, obviously.
people, he's not
Oh, but
really-
Eric Dickerson's kind of a baby for that.
He is.
I'm
He
not
is.
gonna-
He's a baby, but
Who-
17 games is a difference.
Someone, I forget, there was a record that was just broken, and someone tweeted out, unlike Eric Dickerson, it was RG3.
RG3 did.
He was unlike Eric Dickerson. I was really happy to, he didn't mention his name, but unlike others, I was very happy to see Jaden Daniels break my record.
Well, records are always made
Meant to be broken.
It's just,
It was like Kareem with
it's
LeBron.
just there's more games now, and the game has changed. You're throwing
Yeah.
the ball 50 times.
But you got to be a little insecure to be like,
If
I don't
the-
want you to break my
If the game
record.
changed, that's a different story. But
It
you
obviously
had
doesn't
a
count.
game, that's a 101-yard difference. That's a
It,
big,
It's a big
it doesn't count, but for Eric Dickerson to say that
Yeah.
after you're a legend,
But that's how he's
Let
been.
other people
He's
say.
always been like that.
he was like that on
like
Undisputed when
that.
he used to go
He's
on.
always
He always
been
pissed
like
me off.
that.
a
He's
little bit.
always been like that.
But good for Eric Dickerson. So yeah, I mean, obviously about that Cooper Rush at like 4 on the MVP scale.
There's so many good players that are going to be disappointed.
Yeah,
We
someone's
haven't
gonna be
talked
bad.
about Justin Jefferson.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
Jefferson.
there's so many good players.
People are gonna be pissed.
And there's good defensive players that'll never,
Get
get the.
it, obviously. But yeah, no, it's gonna be interesting. This is the most I've looked forward to an MVP. Well, last year I did. 'Cause I
It's
thought
going to
that
be
team-
controversy no matter what.
Yeah. So let's move on to the playoff overview. More specifically, the Sunday night game. This is the biggest game they're talking of all time. I think it is 2-14 and 2 teams. This is huge. Same division for the NFC. What do you think's gonna happen Sunday night? Who do you got?
Hey, trust me, I don't trust Detroit's defense at all.
Yeah, no, I mean,
I think it's going to be whoever has the ball last. Detroit can score at will. I think it's just a sad thing that you're going to go from the 1 seed to the 5 seed.
and they've been like the 1 seed
With
like,
the-
all year.
Yeah, and nobody's even said anything other than Detroit. Number 1, Philly,
No.
Detroit, and
No.
Minnesota's there. Nobody's
No.
talked about Minnesota. They've won 9 in a row. They can beat you in any way,
Yeah, they were-
offense, defense, whatever. To me, my NFC pick would change if whoever wins.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
Detroit gets the home field, it's going to be tough to beat them there, even though they have no defense. It'll
Mm.
come down to a stupid coaching move by Dan Campbell that cost them.
We'll
I
go
don't
for a
think
fourth
I don't
and
think the Eagles could beat them on the road. Where if Detroit go on the road and they got to play out in cold weather, forget it.
Yeah, with Jared Goff.
You know what I mean? I just don't see them
Detroit
going.
expecting anybody back?
I don't.
They're getting Anzalone back.
Yeah,
this week,
Anzalone,
which
but
is
again, they're doing what they can. No, nobody would do what they've done with their injuries. Nobody would. Green Bay's a scary team because they can play in cold weather. They've played Minnesota and Detroit twice. They're not as scared of them.
yeah.
I could see them going to Philly and win. I'm sure Philly would prefer Minnesota win, and then if they had to play at Minnesota rather than
Yeah.
and get Detroit at home.
at home.
And the AFC, I still say the winner of to me the pick would be Baltimore. But if Baltimore plays Buffalo, if Buffalo beat Baltimore, this is those 2 teams' year to beat Kansas City. I say it every year, but this is their way.
Eventually,
Houston's gonna get smoked in the
Eventually,
I've been saying that about the Cowboys since I was like 12. Some point they gotta win. But I don't know if that ever happens.
Something has to give. I don't see any other than the 3 teams in the AFC winning.
No.
And Baltimore, now that they have Henry, they figured out last year you can't throw the ball 50 times and beat Kansas City. Let's run the ball, control the clock. I think they've gotten so much better as the year went on. I could see Baltimore getting to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, my pick for Sunday night is the Vikings because I think they're better than the Lions. My pick going into the year was Lions Chiefs in the Super Bowl. I'm gonna keep my AFC team because you have to be proven. It's like when people ask if Rusty's still kicking, I go, well, he's never died, so I have no evidence. I have no evidence to say that he's ever going to. He's never done it before, so I have never been proven wrong by the Chiefs. If anything, I've been proven wrong for thinking against the Chiefs. So I'm gonna ride Mahomes like I did with Brady. Every year Brady's gonna make it. I'll do it Mahomes.
I just want to see if their luck runs out because all year they got lucky.
But they
I
got
just wanna
lucky
see
during
if
the regular
No,
season.
I just want to see if it.
That's huge to me. Just
Turned
the
it
way
on
he
the last
turns it
couple
on.
games, so.
And then I'll choose, which kind of pissed me off because my buddy has become a Vikings fan in the last couple years. He started following football. And last night he said that Darnold was better than Dak, which is ridiculous. It's one of the craziest things I've ever heard about.
He should get paid though.
Oh, Barney.
Well, he said a lot of
He should
things.
get paid.
He should. He said a lot of crazy things. That was crazy to me. But Darnold has played really good. Oh, that's who we didn't mention in the MVP discussion. He should be in there. So I'm gonna go Vikings Chiefs in the Super Bowl because nothing in the NFC like really impressed me. Like the Packers haven't impressed me that much because Jordan Love hasn't really impressed me that
It's going
much.
to be all good games. Tampa
Oh, yeah, they'll be
Tampa
fun.
Bay is going to be a
Tampa's
good
fun.
game.
But
The Rams are good.
The thing about the NFC is someone going on a heater could be what gets them to.
I could see Green Bay winning 3 road games. I could see the Rams winning a home game.
I could see the Bucks for some reason. I could see like
The Rams are
Baker
another
doing
dome
something
team.
crazy.
Yeah, I
don't
could
know
see
why.
any team in the NFC. The AFC from 5 to 7, nobody's going to scare
Yeah, I don't
anybody.
think so.
Whoever plays
That's coming from a
Houston,
Broncos fan.
yeah, but I mean,
good-
whoever plays Houston is going to beat them.
Yeah.
Like Pittsburgh should want to win this week, so they play Houston. If not, they're going to play Baltimore, and that does the Chargers a favor. So
Yeah.
And then the Chiefs are lucky because Baltimore and Buffalo have to play each other before they play them. So
And I just don't think the Chiefs are like at all afraid of the Ravens or the Bills.
they're only going to have one tough game.
That's why like they're in a cool position because the team that's fighting to get in the playoffs that has one of the worst defenses in the last 20 years is the only team that kind of scares you just because Burrow is so good. But I'm not scared of the Ravens. Any team where when the quarterback throws too much, we go, well, he's not going to win the game. That doesn't scare me. Like if a quarterback's kryptonite is throwing the football, I'm not scared of you in the playoffs at all. And that's Lamar. Like last year, we're like, oh, he threw too much.
But
it's quarterback.
It scares me when they do that fake the Henry. Do they give him the
Oh,
ball in
that's
the
the
middle
thing.
and he goes outside?
That's the thing.
That's the
what
hardest
they
play in
didn't have
sport.
last
So
year.
yeah, exactly.
That's
That's
the
the
thing.
hardest play
That
in
is
sport.
huge.
But I do believe that like Lamar haters wrong than winning games. Like they prove that he can throw the ball, which they have this year. But in the playoffs, you have to play to your strength, which would be Henry and Lamar
You would think, yeah.
are the option all game. But Mahomes in the playoffs, like
I think they're going to be a little nervous if it comes down to a Justin Tucker
Yeah.
kick. I tell you,
That's
they'll
the
be a
thing.
little bit nervous.
well, everyone
They
should.
could-
There's no automatic kickers
Even
this
though
year
he's
except for our
been
guy.
great.
It's been a horrible year for kickers.
It's been hard.
Katie York,
Yeah,
he almost
did me a favor.
yeah, he did you a favor for a minute there.
And it's funny. They can kick them from 65, 60
yeah.
yards, but then they can
weird.
miss the easy ones. It's kind of weird. But I think the NFC, there's going to be all good games.
That'll be so much fun. The NFC.
I can't wait for wild card week.
And
Wildcard weekend's always good.
yeah, and sometimes like there hasn't been a good number 17 come up and sting the 2 team
Well,
just because it's all about money.
there has
though.
been
Well,
There's been one.
I know.
Packers,
Packers,
Cowboys.
Oh.
yeah, that's-
Yes.
it's all about money, right?
I
Yeah,
forgot about Russo Bench. We were in the playoffs.
don't forget about that.
That's true. It's all about money and more teams, but I hope they're good games.
Easy, though.
But the NFC, they're all good teams.
That's the thing. But the one thing that scares me a little bit about the Vikings, believe me, we remember the Packer game. We remember the 7
I
seed.
forget.
Yes, we did.
The one thing that scares me with the Vikings, it kind of reminds me of what was it, 2019 when Case Keenum brought them and they looked like unbeatable, and then you had the quarterback who turned into a pumpkin in the playoffs. Like I'm still in pumpkin mode from First Things First, but I love the term pumpkin mode. I generally don't think that once you get through 18 games of playing like an MVP like Darnold that you can turn into a pumpkin in the playoffs, but it could strike
He's
midnight.
evolved. I don't care what
Well,
it
he's
is.
always been talented. That's
He's
a problem.
always had the talent. And shout
That's a
out to
problem.
the Carolina Panthers for
Yeah, for
both
screwing
Baker
both of them up.
Mayfield and Sam Darnold at the same time as back.
The crazy part is
Two
both
best
of those
backups in the league.
both of those guys' careers were done
Yeah.
once they went to Carolina.
Two best backups in the league.
So-
Carolina.
You guys have talked about organizations like the Jets.
Carolina.
They're obviously horrible too.
Horrible.
Well, now that how bad that whole situation is now people have betting odds on who the next Sam Darnold is going to be, and the betting odds right now and it's not like actual betting odds,
Yeah.
but the GMs in the league anonymously have like kind of voted that Carson Wentz is going to be that guy next year.
He's healthy now. He was never healthy for a long
but he got to sit behind Mahomes and be with Andy
Makes
Reid.
a big difference.
That would because
You'll-
Carson
you'll
Wentz
see it
was
this week.
talented.
Yeah.
That's why we're gonna watch him this
You'll
week.
see it this week.
Carson Wentz pre ACL and even the year after was like ridiculously good. So
You don't get that bad overnight.
So I believe that sitting for a year, he was in the McVay and Andy Reid system. He had McVay last year and Andy Reid this year.
If that's the case, then Trey Lance is going to be great. He sat for 8 years.
You got to watch Mike
gonna be-
McCarthy.
He's going to be good when he's 34.
What? I cannot wait. Trey Lance, all the Mike McCarthy stuff that rubbed off on him, 5-yard outs.
He's
It's
got
gonna
to
be
get
great.
fired, no?
Now he will, I think. But I wouldn't be
has
mad
to.
if they kept him.
He has to get fired.
I feel like he earned it somewhat to stay,
No,
but
but I think there has to
I want
be
Mike
a point
Vrabel. I really want
where
Mike
you
Vrabel.
make complete and utter
Changes.
changes. You have to.
The players like him. You're
Yeah.
gonna piss off your players?
Yeah, but the fans want to win.
Fans want to win.
But Jerry doesn't want to win.
Well,
Uh,
that's true. I never
The
thought-
fans want to win more than Jerry wants to win. I
Didn't look
promise
like
you
the
I
players
want to win
played for
more.
him last week. Didn't look like they went all out.
Yeah, we just suck now though. Like everyone was
They
like,
played well for a while.
everyone was like, how did they get beat up by the Eagles like that? I was like, the same way we got beat up by the Eagles 6 games ago at Cooper Rush. It's like, we're not good. Like
no, but he can't play the Eagles. They showed it.
he's lost. He's
Every
0
time
for
he plays
3.
the only team-
We also didn't have CeeDee Lamb last week. We were throwing
Yeah,
Brandon
makes
Cooks, the corpse of Brandon Cooks.
No Cowboy fan was upset about last
No,
week.
there was a lot of people posting like McCarthy's got to be gone now. I'm like, I get if you want
That was a
McCarthy.
non-game.
I get if you want McCarthy gone, but this game did it for you. Like the
No.
Packer game did it for me.
Now think about it.
That
If you win the Cincinnati game, then it meant something,
We weren't
and
beating
it
the
would have
Eagles.
hurt you. I mean, it would have been good for you. Would have benefited you.
We weren't beating the Eagles. The more I think about it, I was like, delusional and thinking like, well, maybe we can win out. Like we weren't beating the Eagles again.
No.
It was really lucky we beat the Commanders that one time.
That's right.
You don't throw that interception to start the game. You never.
We were walking down the field, but yeah,
Hey,
but it's going to be a really fun playoffs.
I hope they're good playoff games.
It will. The NFC
think
will.
they
I
will.
think the AFC will be too. Honestly, I don't think the AFC is going to be that bad. I don't think
It's
there's
gonna be
anyone.
a little more boring than
No one's
the
squeaking
NFC.
in like the Steelers did last year, and then they played the Bills, and like no one cared because it was a horrible game. But like, who would you if you guys got? What are you guys going to get? A 7 or
Automatically
6?
Buffalo. No, automatically.
I don't even think that's that bad of a
We
game.
play at Buffalo.
Like, does anyone else look at Buffalo as like a powerhouse this year? I don't.
Listen, they can put Sertan on Shakir and
Yeah.
go from there.
Like, I
no,
don't.
I think you could beat them.
But they don't,
I would love you guys to beat
put
them.
it this way. I'd be more scared of getting killed by Baltimore than I would Buffalo.
Yeah, I don't think you have to put up a huge fight against
Kansas
Baltimore.
City
but
will
you-
never blow us out. We
No.
always play them tough.
Yeah, I just think I don't think there's anyone who could just. I don't think there's a powerhouse.
I don't see the Chargers, anybody, Pittsburgh going to
No.
Baltimore and beating them either.
I don't think
Whoever goes to Houston,
that's gonna
that's
be
a
it.
Christmas present.
I hope Stroud picks it up. But yeah, no, it's going to be a really good playoffs. I think we should make our Super Bowl
Super
pick.
Bowl predictions.
We kind of just did that, didn't we?
Well,
No, we didn't say he was going to win.
Who's going?
I didn't say he was going to win.
Let up.
All right.
I hate to say it, but I'll go. Again, it all comes down to if I think Detroit wins Sunday, I'll go Baltimore, Detroit.
Okay. Who you think's going to win?
Who's going to win the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Baltimore. I hate to say it.
Baltimore? No, yeah, that would be good for Lamar. He does deserve a ring. Yeah, how good he's
I hate to say it. I think this year they turn it on at the end instead of choking.
Yeah, well, that'd be nice. Yeah, I've been hoping for that for a while. All right, my pick, since I can't pick the Cowboys anymore, like every year, I'm going to go Chiefs, and I'll stick with the Vikings, and I'll go Chiefs beat the Vikings. Obviously, the man's going to get the MVP.
I hope we don't got to watch
He's
that.
repeating. He's repeating. That's how it works.
I hope we don't got to.
It just makes sense. He's gonna be the guy. Well, and then we'll do the same thing we do after every. We'll probably call him the GOAT.
It's going to
when
be
he
like
wins.
New England. Now, he is the GOAT.
If he wins,
If they win this
first
year, he's the GOAT.
three-peat, he would have
Oh,
He's the GOAT.
four rings before
The team
30.
they had this year, he's the GOAT.
Yeah, that's a Broncos fan saying that.
Yeah,
So
he's the
that's
GOAT.
important.
It's hard to beat him.
It would be really hard to say that this is not better than the Patriots dynasty. The Patriots dynasty went 10 years between rings. I don't think the Chiefs are going to do that.
No.
Patriots dynasty 2014, they hadn't won since what, like 06?
Patriots are in the
05?
easiest division for
And
years.
yeah.
For years and years, they were in an easy division.
And like,
They're gonna win playoffs.
No, but they got wins that bulked up their staff.
I mean, if we're gonna talk about like the Chiefs like getting good calls, let's not forget like the years where the Patriots
Oh, well, they started it.
against the Jags in 17
Snow
got
game
killed
against
out.
The Raiders.
Talk-
The tuck rule.
Even Brady's
That
in it.
started.
I mean, and there's a lot more like luck that went into theirs. Like
that
Pete
started.
Carroll for some reason not running on
Yeah.
1 yard line. So like,
and he also lost.
But then the giant guy caught the ball in his
Yeah,
head.
yeah.
It evened out. It evened
It all
out.
even out.
it even out a little bit.
That may have been the strangest catch in the world.
Yeah.
David
yeah.
Tyree, good for him.
And then the one
And
down
Mario
the
Manningham.
sideline.
But that was just
Down
an
the
Eli
sideline.
Manning dot for some reason.
That was down the side.
I don't know. Eli Manning never did that again. And in the Super Bowl, he turned into a legend, and then he was mediocre for the rest of his career.
Lucky.
But yeah, that's all right. That's my pick. Mahomes Super Bowl MVP because that's just the way he does. And then over under, does Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce does he propose after the Super Bowl win? That's what everyone wants to know.
Oh yeah.
I think maybe
I would imagine eventually.
he becomes Mr. Swift.
Yeah,
That would
I
be cool.
think that'd be cool.
That ratings
Hey, if the Chiefs don't get there, we might get Taylor Swift as the halftime next year.
ratings would be good if he got down on one knee and proposed right after the game. We were talking about that for a long time.
I could see it. I could see it.
That would be pretty Travis. And then Travis retires. It doesn't seem like he's even into it anymore.
He doesn't need to play.
He's dating the massive pop star. He might
If
as
he
well
wins
just
again
retire.
this year, what's he got to prove?
He would have 4.
Yeah.
He's automatically like the hierarchy at the
Yeah.
Thanksgiving Christmas table.
healthy.
Yeah. No, he might as well go
You
out.
get a job on ESPN, right?
Yeah, I was
away.
gonna say, and I don't think if he's with Taylor, I don't think he'll be looking for too much money.
No.
She makes more money than him.
Yeah, I don't
Come
think
on.
you have to worry. It's like Brady.
Yeah, you don't
don't
get-
need to worry.
Oh, Brady doesn't have his wife's
got
money
no way.
Well,
anymore.
not anymore, but at the time.
Yeah.
Tom Brady's proof that no one's safe. You know, you can be the GOAT, and the the judo instructor might take her from you. All right, let's make our picks of the week.
Well,
What do
we at?
Get their score.
Okay, so for the picks of the week, Reggie is 6-5 going into the final week, so he can't be under 500. So that's good. You're 6-5. Evan at 7-4 going into the final, one behind me at
Who am I picking?
8-3. So he's got a chance to tie me for the first championship at Trash Talkin. So who are you guys going with?
well, there's a lot of horrible games this week, and I'm gonna go Indianapolis at home, -5 at home to Jacksonville. Jacksonville might as well lose and start.
Go draft the
with their
quarterback.
pick. Yeah, start with your pick next year. I would hope to God New England doesn't even try to beat Buffalo this week, so they keep the first pick.
Yeah.
The Giants should have learned. They should have learned their lesson from the Giants.
All right, my pick is Dolphins -1 against the Jets, which is not good for you, but Aaron Rodgers, he's looked a
last
lot.
game.
It could be his last game ever. Maybe he turns it up.
Sure.
They've already kind of reported that Adams and Rodgers won't be back. Adams will be shopping too,
Really?
which great trade.
Yeah,
They've like one game since Devontae Adams. Good for them. So yeah, I'm gonna go Dolphins because I don't even like the Dolphins that much, but I don't think the Jets are anything, and I think the Dolphins need to win. That's not good for you guys.
Obviously.
But if you guys win,
The
it
same
don't
time
matter.
of the game.
Yeah, it don't matter if you guys win. So I'm gonna go Dolphins.
That was the easiest one of the week, but I can't pick it because it's not fair, because that means I automatically win.
I understand.
So I got to pick something different. Is this wrong? Are the Broncos really 10-point favorites?
Yeah,
Well,
because the
Kansas
Chiefs
City's
aren't
resting
playing anyone.
everybody.
I'm not doing that. But
That's why the spreads are all off. This
Yeah,
week.
it's
They
just
know
that's
people
what
ain't-
I'm looking at right now.
The spread's in. I'm thinking, did I make a mistake?
Bucks are 13.5 at the Saints.
Well,
Okay, you know what?
Makes sense.
The other one I was going to go with, I'll do it. I'm going to go Cincinnati over Pittsburgh.
Oh, both of ours aren't good for you.
wow.
Our picks aren't good for they. That
If
would
we don't win, we don't deserve.
Yeah, that's
You
true.
can't.
You guys,
you
you guys
can't win
should.
at home.
Carson
Well, I
Wentz.
think you're going to win. Tell me you're going to win by 10.
Carson Wentz, man.
No, but
The only thing that scares me for you guys is, are they resting all their receivers? Like Hopkins, you said is.
Hopkins, Worthy, probably.
You think they'll rest worthy? Then yeah, I think you guys are good. I think if you give Wentz weapons, he's fine.
It's all it's going
And
to take is one guy to go down in the first quarter, and they'll just.
Yeah, that'll be fun. I actually will be fun watching.
They got
your
nothing
games
to
closely.
prove. In the NFL,
But Carson does.
You don't know, but in the NFL, you don't know any other team.
No.
That's the one sport and the one game I believe players should rest.
Yeah, I agree.
It's such a hard
Go
game,
down
a
and
grueling
break a leg.
season.
Yeah.
You
Let's
got
see.
nothing to prove.
I hope you don't get bit with that Carson Wentz thing, because we never did.
I would hope not. It would be a
That would be a
disappointing
shame.
season on what should be a great season.
Yeah, I think you're gonna
They
get.
make the playoffs. It's a great season.
I think Colts fans are looking at Carson Wentz like, don't worry, you'll be fine. But Eagles fans are saying, oh, watch out, Carson Wentz is good. But all right, well, we'll see next week. We'll come back and we'll have our wild card
Enjoy the
round
game. Wow,
preview.
the picks, yeah.
Enjoy your Sunday night game. That is maybe the greatest game in NFL history, regular season. So enjoy your Sunday night
So
game.
we're gonna make sure we do an episode every week.
Yeah, it's playoffs now. We might as well.
Yeah.
We definitely got it. Yeah, we'll have time. We'll make time. All right. Thank you for watching Trash Talking.
I'm Reg.
I'm E. We'll see you next time.